Well, I just had my first fail with my silver battery, so maybe that is a sign. I probably need to get another load of these. I obviously didn't charge these well enough this morning. I mean, have been pretty impressed with them when they are fully charged. So, as I said, I need to buy another packet, but you know, having 8 other sundry ones sort of trying to get us through. As I said, maybe the best idea, now I know what it looks like, where it is roughly, and that, yeah, as I said, there's no bloody topographical information on bloody Google Maps. You can't tell what's up, what's down, sort of thing. Anyway, maybe it's best to park on the other side, on the other road, and walk down this thing. It's going to be an awful scramble up, but at least you can see everything, and there probably won't be this blackberry, you know. Well, we can see there's no blackberry up there, but, you know, and there's all that little 2 areas of land there, you know. It may be even be easier to come in through that way or something like that onto it, if we want to do it at all, you know. I just said, you know, it was just a interesting, maybe we're going to get more out of the car, you know, on the roof of the car footage or something. We might learn something, and that will be what this trip is all about. It's not about the destination, it was finding out stuff about how to film with the camera on the way. I don't know, but I think my partner's gone out to the eye specialist, so you know, she might not be in a good mood when she comes home, because she's having problems with the eye, and sort of in a way she thinks they fucked it up in a way. So you know, if she says, well, there's nothing we can do, you know, it's just going to be like that for the rest of your life, you know, oh, well, thanks very much, you know. You know, could I had a bit of cancer for another 15 years and then died with a, you know, fully functioning eye, or you know, have no cancer and live for 20 years with a fucked up eye that's always weeping and you're always blinking and all that sort of stuff, you know. What a choice, you know. Would you rather have 15 years in perfect health, or 20 with, you know, constant slight niggling irritation sort of thing, and not feeling like you're 100% sort of thing, you know, like you used to be, you know. It's a choice, isn't it? You know, what would you have, you know? What would Sir David Attenborough ask for? Would he ask for 15 years of bashing through the bush, seeing all this stuff in a full state of health, or have 20 years with buggered knees and legs or something, you know, that you can still walk, but it's not the best, you know? It's a choice, isn't it? I always say you have to make choices in this world. Well, I certainly made my choice when I was 9 years old, and it's probably going to start to come to fruition sometime in the near future. So, you know, as I said, don't try and screw me over, because you'll probably end up in prison. I have warned you fellas. As I said, what I am about to do. Yes. So, but as I said, the way I've been things have happened to me and the way I've been treated over the years, I think I've got every bloody right to do it just the way I planned it out when I was 9 years old. As I said, I sat down for about 6 months of the year and sort of, you know, thought about the way life works and what people are interested in and the way the planet seems to tick over and all that. And I scratched out a thumbnail plan, and nothing has actually changed. Nothing has actually altered my mind, and it's taken 40 bloody years to get to the end of the journey, basically. So yeah, you'll probably thank me for it later, but it'll probably come as a bit of a shock first of all, as most of these things do. Bit of a gobsmacking shock and awe moment, and maybe some people think, oh, how dare you, but then again, they were probably the people that were trying to put you down, and they were the ones that didn't do any of the work themselves, basically, and they didn't want you to do any work either. And also the ones that probably wanted all your information, they not only did they want it for free, they wanted you to pay them for it, and they also wanted to have their name on your work. Basically, they wanted to be paid plagiarists and paid at your expense. So, you know, yeah, really nasty little people. Well, as I said, I've learnt from the best bastards in the world. I don't know, most of them will probably be dead by the time I've done my thing, but you know, some of them will probably have a bit of a comeuppance moment, and so they should. They deserve every bit and probably more. Anyway, I don't see them out here. I don't bump into any of them, do I? You know, where are they? Where were they when I was going round in circles for 10 years, eh? Were they doing anything similar? They weren't even the ones that did it for 3 or 5 years and gave up. I mean, at least I have respect for those people who have tried for 3 or 5 years. I have some respect for those people, you know. At least they gave it a good go, and they probably didn't have my past, you know. They didn't realise the importance. They hadn't seen what I'd seen in the bush, you know. You know, they hadn't seen the fly trap, the size of the fly traps I got to see that were caught by quarantine. If you'd seen that, you know there's something else out there, and just the odd sort of plastic white look to them, like you've got someone's mixed, you know, grass with toothpaste, and you've got this sort of eerie whitey pasty green sort of thing to them. But the size and the sort of like the robustness of them, as I said, they almost look like they were plastic, but they weren't. You could tell they were real, but you could also tell there was something really amazing going on there, you know. And of course that was, you know, juxtaposed to all the amazing stuff that was going in WA, and all the books screaming out, you know, you're in the best place in the world for CPs, and the locals not even knowing their own backyard, basically. And then others telling you, like, poo-pooing and saying, well, you don't want to study those, you know, sort of implying, well, to a certain extent, someone's made a mistake along the way, and no one's willing to, because I didn't know I was growing up in a bloody Catholic state over there, you know. You know, oh, God can do no wrong. Well, someone's made a mistake along the way, you know, who is it? You know, well, you know, they eat the insects with the nitrogen, do they? Well, you know, how's that working out for you when you're spraying them with any nitrogen form? Do they grow better than that? Do they stop growing? Do they go in some sort of quiescent state for about 6 months of the year sometimes? Only to recover later on? Why is that? You know? I mean, all the basic plant physiology books state that the nitrogen is the key element for growth. Well, either there's two answers to that. Either that's not true and there's some other element that can be used, or, you know, they're not eating any insects with the nitrogen. So, you know, you got a choice. You know, you got a really hard choice of saying, well, maybe they're using something else, maybe they're converting carbon into nitrogen or something like that, which is a bit of a long shot unless you can prove it. But then again, we're in the land, the most bushfire prone land in the country, and we get a lot of charcoal that seems to disappear, so yeah, maybe there is some connection with bottomlands loading the way it seems to fix nitrogen in the atmosphere and carbon. Maybe there's some sort of intermediary stage it can go either one way or the other. I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch, but you know, I've got an open mind about these things. As I said, something odd going in the bush. You don't see any bloody koalas coming into the vets coughing up lumps of coke, you know, and I don't meet any bloody charcoal collected out there in the bush, and I'm out there right through the season, you know, on and off. You know, you would have thought after you know, nearly 40 years you would have bumped into at least one charcoal picker somewhere out there just by accident. I mean, if it's like a industry for them, they'd be out there most days surely collecting the charcoal, and so at least on one of those days you go out, you're going to bump into them, if that was the case. But I've never have. So, you know, what's going on? No animals, no nothing, you know. Where's it going, fellas? And then and the other thing is, it always seems to be, it disappears when it's, you know, either damp on the ground or it stays damp. All the bits that stay, you know, are dry or dry out, they seem to still be there. So that's sort of suggestive that there's some relationship with water, and maybe it's biological, because they say that, you know, you can't have life basically without water. You know, the great generalisation, which is probably not strictly true, but you know, it's good to have in your back pocket, and it might be useful and come in handy with this sort of situation, you know. Yeah, it looks like there's a standard tea tree or something down there. Maybe it's best to come over that crest, come down, have a look at that standard tea tree, maybe there's some banana in there onto that flat level land and see the dam from the other side sort of thing, and maybe get a better vista as well. Though we'll probably have to come the other time of the day to get the sunnage in the right area, anyway. Probably time to start a new clip. I'm just been gas bagging too long, and back to the car, and I think I'll go home. And it's starting to get chilly now too, so there is a front coming in. Don't want to get caught out in the rain, not after having 2 trips out, being exhausted. I think I'll just go home and have a nice long cup of coffee and see what Gideon's got to say from last night. I closed the computer down before I went to check my Facebook. And oh fuck, I'd have to fire up the computer again. I thought, oh, bugger it. So anyway, let's start a new clip.